Negative things for people. Who wants to lead? Olivia, please.
Is the answer for the second question?
Mm-hmm. Just the answer.
Common negative.
Oh, yeah, the answer. Okay. Your question is, what does this negativity? Oh, question number one. I'll read the first one. Question: what takes so long for goals to manifest for most people? Answer would seem in most cases, negativity delays many people's goals from manifesting in a reasonable time frame. Question: what does a negativity look like in most people? There you go.
Common negative themes for people regarding relationships, medicine, business, careers, and money. Religion are people asking questions like, what's wrong with this picture, or what's wrong with this person, etc. Why is it taking so long? Why, or am I good enough? What must I do to make this happen? What's wrong with me? Is my chooser broken? Why is this happening to me? I'm a good person. It's all your fault. If only you would behave. If I had the right job or had the right relationship, I'd be happy. If you would open up and share your feelings, I could trust you more. You are so secretive and closed up about everything. Government is filled with crooks looking out for only their own interests. How do you know when a politician is lying? When they open their mouth. Is all big businesses want is profit at the expense of the little man who does all the work. The rich keep getting richer by ripping off the masses. They should pay more taxes. Our current medical system is broken and the common man can't afford it. Or the system is only interested in profit and doesn't care if people get well. But how many prescriptions can the doctors write? And on and on and on. Blaming, complaining, whining, etc.
Good. Now, can anybody find something in there that they relate to?
Yep, I'm guilty about 80% of it.
80%.
I'm only 99.9.
Now, as all it is to point out one thing. Okay, where is everything? It all were pointed out. Thinking unhappy thoughts lead to unhappy emotions and lead to unwanted experiences. That's what we just read. And happy thoughts lead to happy feelings, lead to happy experiences. Who wants? So the next question: how can you begin to overcome any negativity on any subject? And answer. Who wants to read the answer?
What's the purpose for this? Why do we want to overcome negative stuff?
Why?
Yeah.
You asking me?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's a good question. So, what do you think?
So we can feel good.
Live longer.
Live longer, feel good,
Be happier.
be happier, avoid disease,
Know myself.
know yourself better. All powerful reasons to overcome negativity. Who enjoys being around a negative person? Raise your hand.
It really doesn't help to change the world. I say I'm 80% guilty of all of it.
Okay?
I see what's going on in the world, I judge it, but what it doesn't, I mean, it may all be true.
So someone says to me the other day, I'll tell you how people, he said, did you read or read, I don't have a TV, so he said, I know you didn't see the news, but Israel's on the border and they invaded Palestine. And my question, and he says, isn't that he got that far, and I asked him, well, what's good about it? What? He had no idea where to go with the conversation. He wanted to talk about the damn Israelis invading Palestine and killing all these innocent people. That's where his mindset was.
And the result of that is after he talks about that, he's not feeling good.
And he's pulling me down with him into a place. Now, so what can be possible? Napoleon Hill asked that question. One of the major questions, his empowering question is, what's the positive benefits of the negative situation or the negative person? What's good about them or the situation? So who knows what's good about what they did? Who can answer the question?
If you can't find something good, can you be neutral?
Yes, absolutely. My mom used to say as a kid, if you can't say anything good, don't say anything at all. That was how I grew up. Can't say something good about that person, I don't want to hear the negativity, don't say anything. Keep your mouth shut. In every negative event, in every negative person, there is something good to come out of that. There's a positive benefit of some kind. Maybe the positive benefit of this is what? Bringing to the attention of the world one more time that it's a no-win situation the way it's presently going. And there are alternatives to make it work. And so you put your head into the alternative solution as opposed to look at the idiots, the warmongers, or whatever you want to call them, the Israelis, what do they call them these days, invading this innocent country, these innocent people. And the other guy, on the other hand, said, look at, what is it, Hamas shooting, what, 1,500 rockets in 10 days into my country, indiscriminately. So, this is going back to your question. How do you get in the place of being non-judgmental and looking at the good?
We're not being bombed here.
That's
Appreciate
very,
that.
that's very good. Okay, so we want to talk a little bit more. The key, again, I just want to remind you, the key to the law of attraction is how you feel about yourself in the moment. If you feel good about yourself in the moment, you're like a beacon attracting people that want to be around you. Or you're a beacon for attracting more happy thoughts. And if you're negative, talking negativity with somebody, you're pulling not only you down, you're pulling them down to your level. So I had to make a decision with a friend of mine to quit trying to talk to him. And every time he wanted to go down that road would be to not participate in that conversation. And instead, yes?
No, go ahead and finish and then I'll ask my question.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, my husband says that he thinks I'm a very positive, well, you know me, I'm a very positive, proactive, go get them done type of person. But when it comes to new friends, I seem to attract the fixers, the ones that want to be fixed or have issues or have problems. And I've been told by friends and family I'm a good listener and I'm always positive and I'm always trying, but I attract sometimes people that, he's like, every time I turn around, he's like, my husband likes like a small select of friends because it's the rest of them are calling me with problems or issues. Why is that? Because you know, I agree, you do attract what you want to be around. I don't necessarily want to be around problem people, but I seem to get them, and I personally don't mind being their friend and being there for them.
I'm going to make a recommendation. Your word of the day is compassion.
Well,
And I will share with you next week sometime in the office. I'll bring in the answers that I found about it, and you'll see how to break it.
okay.
Because I'm the same way. I did break it with a friend of 40 years.
I'm getting better. I'm getting way better, but it is hard when you have commitment, when you care. I'm listening to you. I just have to work too,
Oh,
but I
okay.
am going to be listening, so I'll pop in and out when I have
Okay.
questions.
That's
that I want to
okay.
ask.
That's Tiffany.
That's a
Tiffany
good
is the
one.
most important person here.
Oh,
She
I
signs
feel
the
that
checks.
far.
She sign- not mine, but everybody else's. Brenda's. Okay.
So, I'm sorry, so when you say you severed the relationship?
No, I didn't sever the relationship. I severed mentally the relationship. In my mind, I began to see the person as whole, healthy, and complete, capable, creative, and intelligent. Maybe he doesn't want to, and I know he's that. I've seen it. So that's the image I hold of him. If he wants to go down the other road, he's on his own.
So you don't even try to steer him in a different
No.
direction?
I cut him off. What's good about the invasion, or whatever you want to call it,
Okay.
he got immediately, I wasn't going down that road with him. And I did it by a question, an empowering question that would make me feel good, and him too, if he wanted to play that game. But to say, what did I think about Israel invading Hamas? Isn't that terrible? I'm thinking, who wants to go there? So, it's the people that are closest to you are the biggest challenge. The guy walking down the street or in the bar or in the restaurant, you know, you can get over it in 10 minutes. You have a question?
Oh, no.
Okay. What are you doing your hair? That's like a half a question, right?
I know,
That's a
sorry.
half a question.
Attention getter.
Okay. The summary of the law of attraction states, I think a thought and it's drawn to me in the physical world based on how I feel. And when I think negative, doubtful, blaming, whining, critical thoughts, I set up resistance to what I want and delay it from manifesting and even create a negative situation in my life. And when I feel good and I think feel good thoughts, it makes what I want easy to manifest in my reality, but more important, I feel good. And I will guarantee you, when you start exercising this muscle of feeling good, it won't matter if something manifests good for you. Because the journey, be happy in the journey of reaching for the next best feeling thought. And your success is guaranteed immediately. Why? Because you feel... Oh, thanks for asking. Okay, let me... Okay, it's on the handout.
Okay.
How's that? We'll get to
Good,
that
that's
handout.
good.
That handout, we'll
As long
get
as it's
there.
written somewhere.
We'll get to that handout. Okay, people think in a circle. People think in a circle, then you always feel an emotion based on your belief about that thought. So you think a thought. That's the first step. You think in a circle. Then you always feel an emotion based on your belief about that thought. It's good, it's bad. Again, going back to how you were raised as a kid. Your parents, your peer group, did you grow up in Jerusalem or Baghdad, or in what era? Were you Muslim? Were you Catholic? Christian? Jewish? Buddhist? Then, based on your belief, matches you to the exact wavelength or vibration of your emotion, magnetizing physical evidence to manifest in your reality. What does magnetizing physical evidence mean? What's that mean?
Your thoughts are creating your current reality.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much. Exactly. You got it. Next, and now your next thought draws to it more of the type of your original thought. And then you think another thought. And repeat the circle over and over and over. So how do
A
you...
lot of this is done without awareness.
Oh,
It's like a video tape.
okay, I'll share an experience with you. You know, when I came back from India, I don't know if I told this, but I think I may not have mentioned this even to the yoga class. I had a hard time talking to people. I could literally see into their mind where they were getting the thought from. It was like watching a tape in their mind. And I would say something, and I would see them go to the tape, pull it out, put it in their mouth, and then give it to me. I was reading people's minds, in other words. And I could see they were exactly what you were talking about. They were talking robotically. They were not talking with love or compassion or intuition. And it was like, what's going on here? It was like a new experience. And for about a year, I really didn't like talking to people, being around a lot of people, because I was so sensitive to their energies and to their thoughts. I could see them.
You told me that they were like puppets to you.
Oh, yeah, that's when I shared that with you.
They weren't even aware that they were puppets.
Now, as you, authentic yoga, which all this is really based on, emotional mastery, can take you to a level of that kind of state and even further beyond. And that's the trap, is getting caught up in that stuff, trying to do, look what I'm doing. No, the goal still remains the same, master your emotions and get in a feel-good state 90% of the time. And why you don't want to be there 100? Why be here if you're feeling good 100% of the time? Might as well take off and go visit some other planet. The 10% is the opportunity for growth. Now, most people operate 10% feel good, 90% feel bad. We have 60,000 thoughts a day, scientifically proven. Most people think 50,000 good, 50,000 bad, and they go in the circle. They stay in the circle. They never get out of it. What we're doing, you are the leading edge of thought right here. I really congratulate all of you having the courage to come to this type of workshop to get into the leading edge of thought with yourself. This is leading edge thought information. You are the pioneers for this work to influence other people. First to influence yourself, and by you impacting yourself in a positive way, you will have major impact on other people, guaranteed. Okay, so, how to interrupt, I'm gonna go back.
Somebody snuck something in there on you?
No, I put it in there, I'm not turning my pages fast enough down here. God, okay, Richard. Okay, matter of fact, that page is not in here, thank you very much. It's, oh, no, there it is, I knew I'd find it. Okay, how to interrupt a negative thought pattern. So, let's say you have a silent negative thought pattern going on. My friend, he's helpless, he's an idiot, and blah, blah. And then immediately, as soon as you start that, blah, blah, out loud, blah, 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 blah. And I'll tell you, you will interrupt that pattern right there. Another way to do it that's very powerful is to fast forward it. He's an idiot. He talk like Mickey Mouse. Or Donald Duck. Make the statement in a different language. Make it fast, speed it up, say it backwards, say it forwards, say it in the, like Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, and blah, blah, blah. So if someone's talking, so if someone asks me, how's that really work? So I can show you. Who wants to just pretend to talk negative? And I'll show you how it happens. Just start talking negative and I'll interrupt it for you.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? I'm so
Blah, blah,
stupid.
blah, 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 blah. What'd you say?
What's wrong with me? I'm so
What's wrong with me?
stupid.
I can't hear you. Can't you talk a little faster? That's how you interrupt the negative thought pattern. It's that damn simple. You do that enough with yourself, you'll realize there's a much better way to go about this whole thing, and it's called feeling good.
So do you do this
You
in
really?
your mind or do you do it out loud in public?
Well, I gotta tell you, I think
There's a risk.
people have looked at me very often that they wanted to arrest me. I walk down the street doing it all the time. Blah, 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 blah. Or talk crazy to interrupt the negativity. So I do it in public, and I do it out loud.
You know what that does also? It lets, when you do that, it lets you know that those thoughts aren't you.
That's right.
Releases mental pressure or what?
Say it again?
That relieves mental pressure or?
Oh, try it.
Well, nowadays, because people have those phones, I mean, I think people thought they were totally nuts, and then, of course, they were conversing now. So nowadays, you know, where 10 years back, no.
Well, if I was on a UFO and I came to this planet and I researched and I went back to the UFO and they said, well, what did you find out? What did the people look like? I said, well, they all had this funny looking thing attached to their ear.
It's a growth.
Can't function without that.
Growth on their ear. I don't know. They're always talking into it. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So does everyone get how to interrupt a negative thought pattern and how easy it really is? Yes.
It reminds me of the Charlie Brown thing. When Charlie Brown goes to talk to his teacher and all you hear is wah wah, wah wah, wah wah. And I think I do that with my kids sometimes when they're talking to me about things and they come, I'm tattletelling, I wah wah, I don't hear them.
Oh, good for you. That's there you go. So she's got a way already.
Yeah,
So Kim, right?
yes.
So Kim has a way to interrupt negative
Yeah.
thought patterns with her kids. Okay. Okay, next major tool for mastering your emotions. Now, there are people in this room that I know, myself included, that have been stuck in fear, grief, and depression, insecurity or guilt, jealousy. But let's go for fear, grief, and depression. Now I'm going to explain, you're going to get take out handout number 6. And you'll see it. Now, this handout is to show you begin to indicate how you move from a negative emotion to a positive emotion. If you are in fear, grief, or depression, you cannot go there to joy and wisdom immediately. It's impossible. And how do we know? There are people in this room who have been here and can tell you they can barely get to insecurity or anger. But the secret to this is where we want it. We want to get 7 and up. This is where we want to hang out. That's where all the feel-good stuff is. And this is all the negative stuff. Now, we are confronted in life with things. And we do get, like me, I get into fear or anger. So let's take a real life example. Okay. Let's see if I wrote it down. And of course I didn't. And let's see if I can find it real quick. And I can't. So, since I can't find it, I'll just tell you about it. In 2008, I was diagnosed with cancer, throat cancer. And I went into a state of fear and depression and grieving about myself. And I was stuck. And
You
I
felt
couldn't.
powerless, I know.
Yeah, and powerless. I could not go from there even to there. I couldn't move on the scale. I was stuck there. So one day I sat down and I thought, I said, you know what? Either this is the end or it's not. And if it's in the end, let's get the show on the road and let me out of here in 4 or 5 weeks. I'm ready to go. So I found out I wasn't afraid of death. I was afraid of being sick for a long time. Not death, but the sickness. So I thought about it a little more about the cancer. The next thing that came into my mind, get mad. So I went into a state of rage about having cancer. And I can tell you, it felt so good. There's a shift of energy that took place between fear and rage that all of a sudden I started feeling better. I said, oh my God, look at that's how you shift energy. That's how you move up the scale. You go to the next best feeling thought to feel good. That made me feel better. That took about 6 months to go from there to there. Then from rage, I went to anger. And then from anger, I went to discouragement. And then I went to worry. And then finally, I got to disappointed. Then I got frustrated, and I said, to hell with it. Who cares? Life goes on. I'm either going to go on or I'm not going to go on. So within a year, I was able to move from here to over here, and I made a story, and it's in my book. You'll see it in one of the last chapters. There's a story about how I used my mind to feel good about where I was at with cancer. So I had the surgery. I did not do radiation or chemotherapy. I chose to become a vegan and do cleansing, and if that didn't work, the hell with it. I'm ready to go. Well, I'm almost 6 years later, it's worked. Now, the other thing, I'll give you one more way of looking at this. I had an issue with my heart, and it's a violent heart palpitation, which could kill you. If you know about heart palpitations, I could be standing here and I'd be on the floor gone that quick. And there's no cure for it. So they give you medicines and they kind of do some kind of operation. And it got so bad, I finally, and I used to sit there and say, now, with that, I was always around right here. I was in fear for a while, and I said, the hell with it, no big deal. But I moved quickly with that over here to optimism. And because I had a history now knowing this condition in this moment going crazy inside my body, this too shall pass. It always does. Oh my God, it does. And I've had enough experience in this state of consciousness to know it's not a normal state of consciousness, or no, it is a normal state of consciousness that we don't know about. And it's our true state. I knew enough, I had enough experience here to know that's where I was headed, if I was off the planet. And all of a sudden, there's a story in my book, somewhere in the middle chapters that explained how I did it and how I use it. So like yesterday, it happened yesterday. I woke up and I was going crazy for the first time in 6 months. And I said, well, maybe I'll have to go to the workshop, get up there, start shaking, and tell Linda, you got to teach the class and you got to read my notes. And I said, who cares? I'll show up. And, you know, I have a thought, a belief in my mind, that every time I teach self-improvement, I'm in perfect health. That's my thought that I carry with me. So when I'm standing up, I could be dead at the end, but during this, you're going to see me till the end. So any questions on this?
I went through the same thing that you did 14 years ago with breast cancer.
Yeah. You would like to share some about it?
Well,
What you did?
right now I just lost my best friend yesterday, 46 years old with breast cancer, so.
Okay. Thank you, Grace.
So I would just like to say, are you saying then this emotional scale is a chart of the lowest we can be to be able to choose to go up, 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 up?
Yeah, you have choices. Now, feeling good, which is over here, does not mean you're never going to feel fear. And it's wrong. It's not wrong to feel fear or anger or any negativity, any emotion. Just recognize your own it. Recognize, oh, I'm feeling angry. I'm really mad. I'm frustrated. I hate that person. It's their fault. They spilled the food on the floor. They should clean it up, not me. Nothing wrong with that, but just recognize where you're at, own it, thank it. Oh, thank you very much. Let me shift my energy over here and move in this direction.
So you can find that emotion on this chart and say, okay, what's the next highest one I can choose right now?
Yeah, what's the next, well, the way to ask it, what's the next best feeling thought available to me right now? That I believe it. When I had cancer, the next best feeling thought was rage. I couldn't get to anger, I couldn't get up higher than that. That's what I got to.
How would this compare to like Patanjali when you're going to deep meditation until you experience your bliss?
Okay, that's
What was the question?
what happens when I go into a state of meditation, into joy and bliss? How does this work? It doesn't. It doesn't even apply. When I'm in those states of consciousness, I don't even, well, they'll tell you in yoga sometime, I forget we're teaching a class. That I'll be in that state up there teaching, and all of a sudden I'll stop talking, and I'll just be sitting up there. And then, can we come out of the posture now? And Linda and Denise know that. So, that state of consciousness, which is natural to all of us, my experience, getting access to it is what we're doing here now, today. Mastering our emotions to move in that direction. The meditation techniques you'll learn today will take you a little quicker, a little faster. But just the tools that you've gotten so far will take you an awful long way. It's the foundation. Because they say in yoga, you can meditate your heart out, you can do all the yoga postures you want to do, but if you don't do this work, emotional mastery work, you ain't going nowhere. You're going in a circle. Yes?
You know, what this brings to mind is it's almost a figurative parallel to Maslow's self-actualization triangle.
Yes,
and
it
joy
is.
and passion, joy and wisdom and passion are up at the top.
Oh, wow.
And then you go, I mean, that's the way I
That's good. No,
am
that's
interpreting
well,
this.
this is,
I'm salivating.
there are many, many wise, great people worldwide
Good, I like that.
that teach this kind of stuff. I'm not the only one. I just am the only one in Modesto. But like Maslow, Abraham Maslow, right? I remember his works 20, 30 years ago when I started reading about a lot of this stuff. There are tremendous wisdom throughout the world available to us. You, I need how I got involved, which is in my book. The first page of the introduction explains what I'm doing up here. And I will explain it. You'll see clearly why I'm now up here. I lost it.
Richard, can I say something?
Huh?
This is very helpful because for a person like me, at one point, I could not identify this scale.
Yeah.
I internally was, there was a disconnect.
Yeah.
And so you talk about the problem at the beginning of your pages and the stain. So if you've entered into an unnatural place or a dark place, I could not identify those.
Okay.
And so
It's an invaluable tool.
it is very helpful.
No, it comes from a book called Asking It Is Given by Abraham Hicks. Everything up here, you'll see references down here. They're not very big, but if you ask, I can give you the reference on almost everything that I put in here, unless it's my own. Okay. So you have the emotional skill. That was number 6 you had out, right?
Yes.
Okay. And we were talking about reaching for the next best thought. So here's a dialogue. I'm mad, so we're starting at anger. You know, now I feel more frustrated, and yes, I'm disappointed. Then I went from disappointed on that scale, I jumped up to, what does, I'm starting to feel better already. Where would that be? Where would you find that on the scale? What number would that be, do you think? Hopefulness?
Yes.
Yes. And there's hope for me? That's also hopefulness or optimism. And now I'm moving in the right direction to feel better.
Very positive.
Exactly. So that's just a real short way to do it. There's, oh, here it is right here. Okay. It says, page 25. Tells you how I use up the scale with my heart. So here my heart's going boom, 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 beep, boom, boom, beep, bop. Well, I'm laying down, laughing. Here I am once again. This is getting frustrating. But it's all right where I am. Now try to figure out, as you're looking at your scale, where I'm at, moving. It's all right where I am, and there's no wrong in being where I am. I am where I am, and that's enough, and I'm okay with that, because I am where I am. My history with this condition has shown me it always passes. My heartbeat always goes back to normal, always, and that's a fact. I've proven over the years that it's harmless. So realizing all this, it's no big deal. Maybe it's a little tiring, but no big deal. I feel I'm already in the solution because I realize I'm in the process of feeling better every day by my willingness to get into the zone, and we're going to talk about that later. As often as I can, either by way of my thoughts or actions. Sometimes I get kicked out of the zone when this health issue gets activated, when I fall asleep focus on worry or fear, which I'm in the process of changing now. I realize that it's the journey of reaching for the next best feeling thought that is my reward, not the destination. I sometimes forget that. So what is my final destination? It's feeling happy and joyous no matter what is going on with my health, and being free from my current worried emotional response to my health issue. When that changes, my vibration changes, and when that changes, my health changes. Yes, I'm willing to feel the ease of well-being. I'm sure there are people who are feeling well-being, although in the past they felt like I do right now. Now, how do I know? I actually interviewed people who had this condition. I called the